um, saves you from constantly negating some important factors that need to be included in your writing job or your writing project. So remember, we are talking about Harrison's helmet. That is our hypothetical project. So we did a bit of free writing, which I showed you guys what it looked like. I'm going to go back to that free writing again. I'm sure you can see my screen. So let's say you've done something like this within 5 minutes, or even if you can write more, but then consider the idea behind free writing. First of all, you're not just writing anything. Insofar as you're trying to put down everything that comes to your mind, you also want to make sure that you streamline every single thing you're writing to the project that you're handling at hand, all right? So the project that you have at hand. So if you streamline all of that, it will be easier for you to be able to navigate around what you are about to write. So then, apart from the free writing, okay, so I just talked about timing yourself, and if it works for you, you can have a glass of water before you start writing. This is the part of your writing that is very important, but people neglect it very much. This thing I'm saying now, it may look very simple, but it's everything. It's just simply assembling your tools before you start writing. All right. So before you start writing anything, make sure that you have everything in place. So timer, water, if you work for you, storage medium, like if you have a laptop, if you're doing what you're doing with your phone, you want to make sure that all of this, like your work, sorry, has like a place where you can save it safely. I did recommend that you use Google Docs because it helps you save your document to the cloud or in the cloud. That way you have very slim chance of um, losing what you have written. Then, of course, your writing, that Google Docs is also part of your writing equipment. So you can use Microsoft Word, you can use Apache Open Office. Um, you can use Google Docs. I strongly recommend Google Docs. But then there are other writing materials such as Sublime Text, um, iWriter, there is Multi Markdown, and a lot of others. But then don't forget to install Grammarly on your phone. If you do, it will help with grammatical construction and spelling to help you with all of those things so that you have less editing to do. And then the next thing is you want to plan yourself. All right. You want to plan yourself this time around, assembling all of those things that you have researched about, right? Those things you've researched about, you want to assemble them, bring them together, and then um, start writing something. Start writing something. Now, the first thing you want to do when you start your writing is you want to make sure that you have a very clear draft. In fact, I'm going to walk you through how you can draft an effective copy right now. Part of what we need to do today. There are questions that you need to always answer when you're writing. All right. Somebody should beckon on those on the group to join. I don't know if they're having network issues, but then they should join this class. This is about to get serious. Okay, I'm just typing something. All right. So the processes that you would need to undertake when writing copy. First of all, like I just mentioned, that there are important questions you need to always ask yourself. Questions questions that will always be in the minds of your clients. I keep saying client. Client is the person you're working for. Then your prospect are the target audience, the people you want them to read your content, to read your copy. So don't mind me when I mix them up. Client is the person who hired you to work for them, the person who owns the product. Then your prospect, your customer, are the people you're writing to, people, the readers of your copy. Now, these people have questions. Remember what I told you. Nobody wants to buy. In fact, nobody wants to buy anything without any sort of convincing that you either need that thing or you want that thing. So people are looking for something that will solve their problems. All right. So they are always asking questions like, if you have your pen and paper, write these things down. First question people are always asking is, what is the need for me? This thing that you're writing, this thing you want me to buy, what will I gain? In fact, what will I even gain for starters from reading your copy? And then in the copy, of course, that's why you have the lead. The lead tells your reader that there is something that will be beneficial to them if they read through the entire sales letter. So in that entire sales letter, through the big promise, you let them know that there is something that you have that is going to solve their problems, or that is going to serve as a solution to the problem that they have, which you have identified through your research, of course. So people are always skeptical and asking questions. People are always skeptical and asking questions such as, what is the need for me? Like, what do I stand to gain from having your solution method? I mean, there are other solutions out there. What do I stand to gain from your own? So people are interested in what they are going to gain. The second question is, how is this unique? In this case, you need to show the unique mechanism in your letter, wherein you tell people why your product is particularly different from the plethora of options out there. Because a lot of people are saying we have the best product for you. To differentiate yourself from those people saying we have the best product for you, you need to make sure that you are truly different. Picture yourself in a park where you want to board a bus to maybe anywhere. You're probably going to Lagos or anywhere. And then you go to a park. You notice how they rush you to join their bus. There are many buses, right? So, but people who do the tout job, right? They are always rushing you to carry your bag and to make sure that you're entering their own bus. The idea behind that is that everybody wants to make sales, but then there are plenty people there. So they believe that the fastest person and the most convincing person does the sale or gets the passenger, right? So in the same vein, there are many people dragging for customers in copywriting, and probably the same thing you're selling, they are also selling it. Theirs might even be better. But where you differ is with your manner of approach and how you're able to show that your boss has AC and is interested in the passenger's comfort, and the drivers drive very safely and are well trained and mannered, such that they will have your interest at heart, and at the same time treat you well as a passenger that you are and as a customer that you are. They are not rude to you. They are not going to drive recklessly, and your life is in good hands. These are the kind of assurance that passengers need. All right. But then, who does the job better? Picture yourself as someone who is looking for such passengers. Very few passengers amongst a stream where there are plenty sellers. So what is unique about you? What is in it? What is in what you're selling for the customer? Remember those questions, they are very important. Another question they ask and you need to answer in your copy is, how is it different from everything I've heard before? Remember, people, even in that bus station, a lot of arboros and touts are saying, or conductors, sorry, let me use conductors. A lot of conductors are saying, we have the best drivers, so they are well mannered and they are well dressed, and this one, that one, they drive well. You get, everybody is saying the same thing, but then how do you say it better, or how do you show that you are truly responsible for the things you say about the quality of your services to your customers? All right, so you need to be different so that you won't have any sort of issues with um with those who you carry, or with those whom you write to, sorry. So of course they've heard so many things, but you need to say it better. You need to make sure that you're saying the right thing to the right people and using the right language at the right time. That is very, very imperative. Now another thing, another question you want to ask is, and you want to answer, sorry, is, how do I know if this is real? Because customers are asking this. Sometimes, like I said before, it is better for you to mention these questions categorically in your letter and then answer them as you mention them. Do you understand? So instead of just assuming they will ask these questions, you can ask them, go ahead, be a step ahead of them. Ask these questions so that they can flow with you. When you do this, it simply means that you're taking them by the hand and you are pulling them through to the to where you want them to be. All right. So at the point where you're able to take them through your letter step by step and in the sequence that they would appreciate, you stand a very good chance of convincing them in the end. I hope I'm still audible. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
I guess people are having network issues. So the next thing you want to, next question on your list should be, how does it really work? Again, unique mechanism. All right. You have your unique selling point and you have your unique mechanism. Unique selling point is, this is how we are different from the plethora of options that exist. But here, your unique mechanism is you explaining how your system works, but different from how other people's own works, and even better than how their system works. Do you understand? So you need to explain the product that you're marketing, and you need to let people know how how your product works is going to be effective on, yeah, effective in solving their problems. So you need to get that efficacy assurance right in the end. Then the next question they ask and you must answer is, why should I act now? This is about urgency. You need to make sure that what you're selling, sorry, you need to make sure that in your letter you are able to get people to act at the time when you want them to act. Here's what I mean. And how do you even do this? Sorry, for instance, if you write and people read, they are probably reading to be interested in what you're selling. And at the point where they become that interested, there's nothing that procrastinates as humans. They will keep procrastinating until they forget about it and you lose that sale. But in this instance, because of the whole factor of procrastination, you want to make them act on the spot. Since they have the money, what are you waiting for? And the way you do this is you use the scarcity method. So you may have seen um, where you might have read some letters where they tell you to buy something and that will have limited quantity available. If you don't act now, we'll be out of stock very soon. Do you understand? Or they can be very specific and say, you know, we produced 30 pieces of this product and we have 10 left. A lot of people are purchasing and the other line is very hot. The other line is very hot. If you don't act now, you'll be sorry you'll be sorry you did not act at the right time. So you get this kind of thing. That's scarcity. I'm simply trying to create in the customer's mind that they need to act at this point in time, or else they will lose the entire sales. So they will lose the entire opportunity to buy that particular product. Another way you can still create urgency is if the product is $50, you can say, we are giving out a promo that allows you to buy something of $50 with $30. Sometimes you can play around the price and all, right? It can be $100. Sorry, your product can be $50 in truth, but I don't recommend it. This is a bit like, tweaking the system. If it's $50, you can say it's a product of $100, but then you're slashing the price by 50%. Act now, for in the next 1 month it will go back to the original price. A lot of people do this. I don't know, it's totally up to you to decide what you want to do with your pricing and how you want to tweak it in terms of promo and all of that. So, but then just knowing that it happens most of the times where people use price as a factor for scarcity. So if you don't act in our promo period, the next time you may want to buy it, it will become more expensive than it is now. You understand that factor, right? So you want to give them plenty reasons as to why they should act upon what you're selling now at the moment. Now, another question here is, why should I trust you? Remember, I already said, make sure you establish credibility. Establishing credibility is very, very important because people want to know who you are. As a copywriter, as someone who they are just reading about their store for the first time, they don't know you. For them to know you, you need to have established something, a level of credibility that they can relate with, or else they won't buy anything from you, because people buy, especially online, with three factors in mind. First of all, the person has to be somebody they know, or they must have seen their work, or they know somebody they know. All right, there has to be a level of connection. That's why we recommend that in sales, build a relationship with your customer first before you can start pitching to them. Don't sell too early to them, or yeah, if you sell too early, they won't even give you a listening ear. So the next factor they have in mind when buying is, apart from knowing you, they need to trust you, because it's one thing to know you, it's another thing to trust you. People can know, like for instance, you probably know a Yahoo boy. So when they are sending you something, or when they are telling you to buy something or sign up for something, you probably want to ask questions. this one, that this guy, are you sure he doesn't want to scam me? You get. So when you know a criminal, you don't want to have anything to do with such a person, right? So that's the same thing. That's the same way that people who buy online or who buy anything operate. Like this is the same thoughts. They are like they are everyday use. Like before they make any purchase, they need to know, like, and trust you. So they need to know you, they need to like you, and they need to trust you. And how do you get to this? How do you get to satisfy these three principles? Is if you are able to create a very good relationship with these people. The way to create a relationship is to offer value. Give them something they can work with, something they can immediately apply to their marketing or to their something they can easily work with from the get-go. You get. So when you give out value, when you provide solutions to certain problems, you're able to um you're able to give, like, create that relationship with them. How do we even apply this idea to the Harrison helmet that we're selling? So first of all, you want to give some simple techniques. If you want to create a relationship, you want to give some simple techniques on how parents can help protect the lives, the lives of their children, and of course their relatives who like cycling. For instance, you want to talk about the kind of speed limit that they can maintain, so that even if they fall, they would probably not incur so much injury, or just anything that plays well with them and helps to show that you care about their safety. Once you're able to show that you care about their safety and their well-being, and that you're on their side, then definitely they're your friends. So let's talk about another question. Remember, I'm giving you this question so that you can write them down and learn to apply them. So the next question you want to ask yourself is, apart from why should I trust you, how can I get started? Now, at this point, you've established yourself. You have shown your reader what your product offers them, what benefit they are going to get from buying your thing or your stuff. Then you've shown your unique selling point. You have shown how different you are from the plethora of options that exist there. Now that I've gotten you to include all of these things in your copy, the next thing that you have shown, or that I've gotten you to show, is how to know if this is real. You show your customers that what you're selling is real, and it's not just real, but it's also real to them. It's going to work for them. So when you've succeeded with showing them these things, you also explain your unique mechanism, how your system works and operates. And also, when you're done with that, you should have shown why they should act now by using those urgency things that I talked about. After that, you show credibility, establish credibility. Why should they trust you? Then you show how they can get started. After you've shown how they can get started, then talk about the pricing. What's the price of your product? Customers want to know, is your product worth my money, or is your product worth the equivalence of what you are requesting for? So they want to know if what they are purchasing from you is worth the money they are going to buy it with, money equivalent. You want to satisfy that. You want to show how the quality of your product matches the value in money. So that needs a lot of skill as well. All right. So after the price, settling the price boogaboo, you want to do the next thing, which is like the last but not the least important thing, which is the question. Answer the question of, what do I have to lose if I don't act now, right? So here is the thing. Customers want to know, what's the worst thing that can happen if I don't buy your product now? Even after you've established your urgency, you've shown them, oh, this product will not last forever. It will soon be the price reduction will soon expire. And when it does expire, you buy it at a higher price. They know that already. Also, they know that this product is going to be out of stock very soon. They know that. But then the question still pops up. So what is the, apart from these things, what's the worst case scenario? What's the worst thing that's going to happen if I don't get to buy what you're selling at this moment? So this is where, in my opinion, I say you should use the fear tactics. We've talked about the fear tactics before. So let's apply the fear tactics in the helmet right now. So I've shown you that we have limited amount of helmets now, and of course we are the only one that has this product. That's why you should buy from us, and that's why you should buy now, and that's why we are running this promo, right? So I've shown you that we'll soon be out of stock, and it will take a long time before we can get things back in stock. I've also shown you that we're on promo, and if you don't act now, when next you're buying it, you buy it at a higher price, yet you still have objections. Here's what I can do by using this fear tactic. So I could go, I could say something like, in my letter, I could write something like, um, the worst thing you can ever imagine as a parent, whether single or dog, oh sorry, and the worst thing you can ever, the worst thing a parent can ever behold is seeing their beloved child crash into a gutter without a protective hedge to ensure that their head remains safe. Here is something I witnessed 2 days ago. You can tell a story of someone who was riding a bicycle or who was on a bike, but then had an accident, and a a a speeding car ran over the bicycle, but then the person in question flew out from the bicycle, or dived out of the bicycle in a bid to dodge the incoming car, right? So you can tell that story very well. Of course, plenty things like that happen. Accidents happen. Use them to your advantage. Tell of such a story where this kind of thing happened to somebody, but because they had whack helmet on them, they incurred serious injuries and are now taking treatment. Thanks to God that they have even the slightest chance of survival. All right. But then another story could come with someone who had similar experience, but with your helmet, who had a better result. Only bruises on his hand, but then the head was, there was no head injury at all. So you want to tell such a story, but then what you're doing in essence is that you're trying to create fear. And I told you before that as a copywriter, you are like an artist. You're painting a picture, or in fact, you're directing a movie that you want people to watch. In this movie, this time around, it's all about creating a horror movie. This horror movie is supposed to create a very massive fear in them, such that they don't have any other option than to act when you want them to act, which is now. You understand? So if you want to get them, just narrate this scenario, and when they are able to connect with it, if you write smoothly, you will see how like the rate of your sales will increase. Like it will very socially engineer sales and buying. So I've given you 10 different questions that you ought to consider, and you need to answer in your copy. In fact, these questions, when you answer them, you'll find out that you have already written a sales copy from start to finish. The first one is your product. What is in it? How does it benefit your customers? So they're asking questions like, what is in it for me? What is in your product for me? What do I stand to gain from your product? Second question, how is it unique? Third question, how is it different from everything I've heard before? Fourth question is, How do I know if this is real? Fifth question, how does it really work? The sixth one, number six, why should I act now? Number seven, why should I trust you? Number four, how can I get started? Number five, what am I doing? Number eight, sorry. How can I get started? Number nine, is it worth the time and money? Is it worth my time and is it worth my money? You need to settle the price boogaboo. Then lastly, the 10th one, what do I have to lose if I don't act? If I don't act now? By the time you answer these 10 questions in your writing copy, you have written a complete sales letter. You have written a complete sales letter. Remember, part of that number 10 includes your call to action, your CTA. That is to say, click here to buy now, order now, or whatever. Whatever, click here to go to see the full story. Whatever, click here to watch the video. These are all sales letters, or these are all call to actions. So by the time you listen to, you pay attention to all of these things that I've just mentioned, you will be better off in your writing endeavor. So I have 3 minutes to end this session, and then we'll continue again. Sorry, Zoom is ending my call in 3 minutes. That's what I mean. So whatever happens from now to 3 minutes, we'll start again, and I need you to join ASAP as soon as possible. Now I'm going to show you a small example of how we can answer all of these questions using another example. Then we'll talk about the Harrison's helmet, how we can apply the Harrison's helmet. All right. But then I did tell you that research is the heart of your copy. Make research and these questions become so obvious. Do we understand? Make your research and these questions become so obvious. Everything is on the internet. Copywriting is not about, it's not a content or an ad that is written from heaven. No, it's all out there. All right, so let's see some other examples where we can apply these 10 questions. So the first one is, what is in it for me? Now, you can earn a life-changing fortune. This is about trading. Let me see, in trading, right? A customer says, okay, so you have a trading, you have a trading product that is supposed to help your customers earn more financial freedom, right? Or get more financial freedom. The question they are asking at this point is, what is in it for me? Your product that's supposed to, help my trading. What is in it for me? You can go in your copy, you can write something like, now you can earn a life-changing fortune trading little known penny stocks before the mainstream media starts talking about it. Why the mainstream media hasn't started talking about it? Why this information has not, or this trading strategy has not become so popular out there, such that people are now using it and abusing the system? You have the prime opportunity to harness this very strategy that we're showing you right now, so that you can make a lot of profit before it goes out there in public. All right, that's what is the need for me. So they now know that there is something they need to act on that will benefit them before those things becomes public and it no longer holds any sort of benefit for them. Let me end this thing, guys. Please join back immediately, please. Once you see my signal, join back. Be on the group, please. 1, 2. I'm ending in 1, 2, 3, go.